very good afternoon. You're watching the Midday News on Sabha television, where we get you the biggest developing news stories at the top of this hour. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor, and here are the headlines. Supreme Court to hear plea challenging appointment of Nageshwar Rao as CBI interim director next week. Top court declines urgent hearing. PIL after former director Alok Verma transferred out of the agency. Government infuses additional funds in Manrega scheme, allocates over 6,000 crore rupees to the rural employment scheme after concerns over fund crunch. Scheme gets all-time high of 61,000 crore rupees. India needs a decisive Prime Minister with a clear mandate and not maverick leadership, says Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Says India has emerged as the fastest growing economy, set to break the 8% barrier under Prime Minister Modi. 1 out of every 8 students in rural India cannot read simple text, says a report by ASER. In a positive development, a proportion of children not enrolled in schools fall below 3% for the first time ever in India. And Theresa May's government faces a vote of no confidence after British MPs reject the Prime Minister's Brexit deal by a record 230 vote margin. European Council President Donald Tusk suggests UK should stay in the EU. The top story this afternoon, the Supreme Court has refused urgent hearing on a petition challenging the appointment of Nageshwar Rao as the interim CBI director. The matter was mentioned for urgent listing before a bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi. The top court will now hear the plea by an NGO challenging Rao's appointment next week. Now, the petition has contended that the government has completely bypassed the statutory requirement to consult the high-power selection committee of the Prime Minister, opposition leader and the Chief Justice of India before appointing the new CBI director. Rao was given the charge of interim chief on 10th of January till after the appointment of a new director. This after Alok Verma was removed as the CBI chief on charges of corruption. The Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed the pleas of 5 states seeking a modification of its order issued last year on the selection and appointment of Director Generals of Police. The Apex Court was hearing pleas of Punjab, Kerala, West Bengal, Haryana and Bihar seeking implementation of their local laws regarding selection and the appointment of DGPs. A bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi said that the earlier directions on selection and appointment of DGPs was issued in larger public interest and to protect the police officials from political interference. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has reiterated that India needs a decisive Prime Minister with a clear mandate to deliver economic growth and satisfy the country's aspirations. In a blog on Tuesday, Arun Jaitley said that India has emerged as the fastest growing major economy under Narendra Modi and could possibly become the 5th largest economy in the world by the end of the next financial year. Taking a review of the progress made under the BJP government, Arun Jaitley said that India needs a strong leader, stable government and consistent policy decisions for ensuring continuing economic growth. Jaitley also criticized the opposition's bid to form an unworkable alliance with a maverick leadership whose sole objective is to defeat the BJP in the forthcoming general elections. On to the other top story this afternoon, the annual status of education report on primary education focusing on schooling status of children between the age group of 3 to 16 years was released on Tuesday. And according to the report, 1 out of 4 children have, leave class 8, which is the last year of compulsory schooling in India, without being able to learn basic reading skills. 56% of class 8 students cannot do basic math and 27% do not know basic reading. The report, however, shows that there is a small but a steady catching up by the government schools. As many as 44.2% of government school children in Standard 5 can read a Standard 2 level text, which is an improvement from 2012, where only 41.7% Standard 5 students in government schools could read Standard 2 level text. However, the best news in the report indicates that the proportion of children not enrolled in schools has fallen below 3% for the first time ever in India and stands at 2.8%. Now, this improvement is seen across age groups and gender. The survey covered around 3.5 lakh households and over 5 lakh children between the ages of 3 and 16 across 596 rural districts. It is conducted by an NGO. The government has made an additional allocation of over 6,000 crore rupees to rural employment scheme Manrega. With this, the Manrega scheme now has the total allocation of 61,084 crore rupees, which is the highest ever in a financial year. The additional allocation comes after nearly 90 lawmakers, several prominent civil society members, activists, leaders of farmers' movements and former bureaucrats wrote to the Prime Minister raising concerns over fund crunch. 55,000 crore rupees was allocated for the scheme in this year's budget, but on 1st of January, over 99% funds of the Manrega scheme was reportedly exhausted 3 months before the end of the financial year. The HRD Ministry has announced that it will implement 10% reservation for economically weaker section of the general category from the 2019 academic session. HRD Ministry will also increase around 25% seats in higher educational institutions and universities across the country. HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar informed the decision was taken at a meeting of the officials from the ministry, the UGC and AICTE. The reservation will be implemented from the 2019-2020 academic session itself. Nearly 25% seats will be added to ensure that the reservation does not disturb the existing quota for SC, ST and other categories. However, the modalities are being worked out and soon the exact number of seats will be announced. The operation manuals about how to implement the quota will also be issued soon. The colleges and universities will also be asked to mention their quota in their prospectus and make infrastructural arrangements accordingly.
Government has decided to implement 10% EBC quota right from this academic year 2019-2020. All the universities, 900 universities and 40,000 colleges will be given full operational manual and OM operational mandate in 1 week time, and this will be the reservation will be available in both public and private institutes.
And the HRD Ministry also approved a proposal of 1,241 crore rupees to extend the 7th Pay Commission recommendations to the academic staff of government and aided technical institutions. Now, this will directly benefit a total of 29,264 teachers and other academic staff of the state government-funded institutes. About 3.5 lakh teachers and other academic staff of private colleges or institutions within the purview of the All India Council of Technical Education will also benefit from this approval.
Government has decided to implement.
Exports grew at the lowest pace in 3 months at 0.34% in the month of December, mainly on account of global trade tensions. According to the Trade Ministry, exports growth remained at almost flat at $27.93 billion in December last year, while the imports registered a decline of 2.44%. Declining imports narrowed the trade deficit to a 10-month low in December 2018. The import of gold also contracted by 24.33% in December 2018. During the month under review, several key export sectors including engineering goods, jewelry, leather, pharmaceuticals, tea and coffee also recorded negative growth. However, cumulatively during April to December fiscal. Exports grew by 10.18% and the imports rose by 12.61%. In midday news, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back with more news.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. News from Kerala now, where tension prevailed on the Sabarimala trekking path as a group of protesters and pilgrims blocked 2 Sabarimala-bound young women on Wednesday morning. The 2 women from Kannur reached the Neelimala path along with the 6 men, but several men protested and blocked their way. Now, police arrested 5 persons who blocked the women on their trekking path. As the situation turned worse, the women were shifted to a police control room and later to Nilakkal. A group of protesters also threw coconut shells and stones at the police vehicles, but no one was injured in the incident. Last year, the Supreme Court struck down the temple's entry ban on women aged between 10 and 50. Protests initially stopped women from that age group from visiting the shrine, but some of them have managed to enter the temple in recent weeks. News from Meghalaya now. The Supreme Court yesterday banned the transportation of extracted coal lying at various sites in Meghalaya. It also asked the state government to file an affidavit on what it has done to curb illegal mining in the state. Now, coming down heavily on the state, over 15 miners who have been trapped inside an illegal coal mine in East Jaintia Hills for over a month now. The court said that the state has failed in dealing with the menace of illegal mining. The court also refused to grant additional time to 9 owners to transport the coal that had already been extracted. The National Green Tribunal had imposed a blanket ban on unscientific and unsafe mining of coal in Meghalaya way back in 2014. First of its kind 2-day Global Aviation Summit with the theme Flying for All was inaugurated in Mumbai on Tuesday. The government unveiled Vision 2040 for the aviation industry, pitching India as the aviation hub of the world. The government is also creating a roadmap for manufacturing aircraft in India.
The Global Aviation Summit was inaugurated in Mumbai on Tuesday. The government also released the Vision 2040 to chart clear strategy for India's growth in the aviation sector. India would be adding 1,000 aircraft over the next 7 to 8 years and 1 billion trips in the next 15 years. The domestic aviation in India has been growing at 20% every year since 2015, and this growth has been the highest in the world.
So it's a good idea that we like to join hands with the top players and over a period of time make aircraft. When I'm saying make aircraft, the making of any product in the world has undergone a sea change. Nobody makes end-to-end product in one place. It's becoming part of a global value chain, global supply chain.
The government will also introduce a national logistics policy shortly, which will enable the creation of several logistic hubs across India. At India's first ever Global Aviation Summit, ministries and dignitaries gathered to explore growth opportunities in passenger and cargo traffic. 800 global delegates, including 14 aviation ministers and representative of 35 DGCAs and over 100 CEOs, are attending this mega event.
The Global Aviation Summit in Mumbai assumes paramount significance because India's aviation industry is on a high growth trajectory, ushering in the era of rapid expansion. The government now plans to unveil a mission amalgamating all the policies and programs in the aviation sector so that India could be developed as a hub for catering to the needs of global aviation industry. Reporting from Mumbai with camera person Junaid Iqbal Khan, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Harshvardhan unveiled 2 science channels in Delhi, DD Science and India Science. While DD Science is a daily slot on science and technology on Doordarshan's national channel, India Science is a 24-hour internet-based TV channel. The 2 science channels are the outcome of special efforts made by the Department of Science and Technology along with Doordarshan Prasar Bharati.
Department of Science and Technology along with Doordarshan on Tuesday launched 2 science communication initiatives, DD Science and India Science. Speaking at the launch of the free-to-air channels, Science and Technology Minister Harshvardhan said developing a scientific temperament was a critical necessity. He said the aim is to launch a 24/7 channel dedicated to science. He stressed that there was no dearth of ideas, talent and potential in the country.
इसको बहुत प्लान करके और इसके क्वालिटी और कंटेंट में कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ ना हो, इस नाते थोड़ा समय ज़रूर लिया है और अब इसको शुरू करने के बाद उस सपने को साकार करने के लिए हम लोग काम शुरू करेंगे कि देश में 24 घंटे का एक डेडिकेटेड साइंस चैनल हो.
An agreement between Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization under Department of Science and Technology, and Doordarshan was signed on the occasion.
We are starting with a 1-hour slot, but I think the intention is very clear, as the Honorable Minister shared, that we want to make it a 24/7 channel and make it, not just another channel, but the channel for science content.
While DD Science is a 1-hour slot on Doordarshan National Channel, India Science is an internet-based channel.
आज की ये ज़रूरत है कि हम अच्छे साइंस के प्रोग्राम्स को अपने यूथ तक, अपने बच्चों तक लेकर के जाएं. तो मुझे खुशी है कि आज हमने विज्ञान प्रसार के साथ ये एक शुरुआत की है.
These channels are the first step in creating a national science channel for India. India's national broadcaster Doordarshan reaches out to more than 92% of India's population.
A historic step by the Doordarshan to launch 2 science channels in India for science communication. But the move is not only to bring 1-hour channel in this Doordarshan, but also to bring out a full-fledged channel in the future. With camera person Prashanta, Aruna Thakur from Rajya Sabha TV.
Another very short break in here. Up next, we have all the international and sports news.
Rabindranath Tagore was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913 for his book Gitanjali. In 1950, he composed the music and lyrics for India's national anthem Jana Gana Mana. And when Bangladesh became independent in 1971, they chose Tagore's song Amar Shonar Bangla as its national anthem. Tagore's life and works have made him a cultural icon, studied the world over, even into the 21st century.
Top international focus now. Theresa May's government faces a vote of no confidence later today after MPs rejected the Prime Minister's Brexit deal. Now, the MPs are set to debate the motion for about 6 hours. Opposition Labour Party launched the bid to trigger a general election after the deal setting out the terms of Britain's exit from the EU was rejected by 230 votes. Parliament voted 432 to 202 against May's draft deal on Tuesday, the worst defeat in modern British history. More than 100 of May's own Conservative lawmakers joined forces to vote down the deal. And in doing so, they smashed the previous record defeat for a government, which was a 166 vote margin set way back in 1924. With the clock ticking down to 29th of March, which is the date set for Brexit, the UK is now ensnared in the deepest political crisis as it grapples with how or even whether to exit the European Union. Now, May has told MPs that if she survives the no confidence vote, she will return to the House of Commons with an alternative plan next week. Meanwhile, the European Union said that it was horrified by the massive scale of the UK Parliament defeat of the Brexit deal agreed with May. European Council President Donald Tusk has suggested that the UK should stay in the EU.
Every day that passes without this issue being resolved means more uncertainty, more bitterness and more rancour. The government has heard what the House has said tonight, but I ask members on all sides of the House to listen to the British people who want this issue settled and to work with the government to do just that.
And the White House is considering former PepsiCo chief executive Indira Nooyi for the position of the new World Bank president. Now, according to reports, Indira Nooyi, who stepped down as PepsiCo's chief last August, has been courted as an administrative ally by Ivanka Trump, who is playing a role in the selection of a nominee. The decision-making process for the top post as at the World Bank is at its initial stages, and early frontrunners and candidates often fall off the radar or withdraw from consideration before the president makes his final pick. It is, however, unclear whether Nooyi would accept the nomination if she's chosen by the Trump administration. News from Africa now, where at least 15 people were killed and several others were injured after suspected militants attacked a luxury hotel complex in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. About 4 gunmen armed with rifles and grenades drove into the heavily guarded hotel on Tuesday. And by the evening, the officials said that the siege was over, but gunfire and explosions were heard early on Wednesday as well, and a security operation is still going on. After 12 hours trapped inside the complex, a group of dozens of people were freed this morning. 11 Kenyans, an American and a Briton were among the casualties. However, 2 victims had not been identified. Now, some civilians are reportedly still trapped in the complex, and some have been texting relatives from hiding places. In fact, the Somalia-based militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed the responsibility for the attack.
Offer our prayers to those who are affected, and we wish quick recovery to those who are injured. We are aware that there still could be some armed criminals still holed up in the building, and our special forces are, as I said, engaged in that operation to flush them out.
So all the sporting action now. Maharashtra continues to stay on the top of the ongoing Khelo India Youth Games 2019 medal tally. Snehal Bhongali of Maharashtra grabbed the gold in the girls under 21 87 kg weightlifting competition. Snehal claimed the top honours after lifting 160 kg total, including 68 kg in snatch and 92 kgs in clean and jerk. And in boys under 21, 109 kg weightlifting, Tejpal Sandhu of Punjab won the gold medal. In the girls under 21 10 meters air pistol event, Rabindranath Tagore of Maharashtra claimed the gold after defeating Yuvika Tomar of Uttar Pradesh. While in the boys under-21 three-position rifle event, Sartaj Singh of Punjab won the gold after defeating national junior champion Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar of Madhya Pradesh. In the boys under-21 50 meters backstroke swimming, Srihari Nataraj of Karnataka won the gold medal. He claimed another gold in the 100 meters freestyle event as well. In fact, Nataraj ended the competition with 7 gold medals. And in the girls under-21 50 meters backstroke event, Mana Patel of Gujarat won the gold medal. In the boys under-21 hockey, Odisha grabbed the gold after beating Haryana 4-2 in the final. With 177 medals, Maharashtra is at the top of the medals tally, including 64 gold, 51 silver and 62 bronze medals. Delhi is at the second spot with 121 medals, including 47 gold, while Haryana is at the third spot with 38 gold medals. And season's first Grand Slam, the Australian Open, is underway with some tennis stars playing their matches today. Double defending champion Roger Federer of Switzerland defeated his British rival Dan Evans 7-6, 7-6, 6-3 to reach the third round of the Australian Open after defeating Dennis Estonen in the opener. Third seed Federer encountered a stiffer opponent but still managed to beat him to enter the third round. Federer will next face Taylor Fritz of the United States. Top-seeded Novak Djokovic entered the second round of the Australian Open. Djokovic comfortably beat American qualifier Mitchell Kruger 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 in the first round of the men's singles. And in the women's singles, top seeders Simona Halep defeated Kanepi of Estonia to move to the next round. Halep beat Kanepi 6-7, 6-4, 6-2. And in the other women's singles match, Caroline Garcia of France defeated her Australian rival Zoe Hives to move to the next round. That's the wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.